There's no better deck that I can think about playing after a couple months off than Kelly. It's my first love. It's a deck that I just do not get bored of, even though it is so similar between games. It just has a lot of suspense to it. I love playing it, and I try to do different versions of Kelly here and there. This one has a couple different cards, and I'll talk about the cards in the deck and kind of what makes this a little bit different than what I would normally play, and we'll get into a few games with live commentary for reference. So the objective with this deck, we're using Carapace Leader in order to keep things protected. On order, we could boost an allied unit by 3 if it's non-neutral. So pretty much everything apart from Ciri and Sarah will be boostable, right? We're not really going to want to boost Squirrel and get the Veil, but, you know, it's unfortunate with these two, but we do have ways to purify, so I'm not really that upset about it. Now, this is going to help keep things protected. We have a lot of engines moving, a lot of counters going, and we just want to make sure that these things can actually work. It's one of the most answer this or lose type decks in the game. Okay, the objective is to create a board contrast, meaning that we have less units on the board than our opponent, and that's when Kelly really shines. So Scoia'tael on melee at the end of your turn, destroy the lowest powered unit on the side with the most units. We have the minimum amount of units in a deck. We have 13, so we're building that contrast right out of the gate. And a lot of these units that I have are tutors, like Iroquax is a tutor, Wispus is a tutor, so we can play these early on in order to get cards out of the deck, and then we can focus on just playing only the cards later on that count as an engine, like Nithral or the Witch Apprentice, or going into the Wildtime Hound if we need to. These can accumulate quite a bit of points. Now, nothing to me is more satisfying than just burning a unit every single turn. It pretty much creates an auto lose situation if the opponent cannot purify a defender and heatwave the Kelly. But in the gameplay today, I was actually surprised that I was able to pull off a win without Kelly. So nothing's impossible. I have a Neuromancy for consistency. We're going to be able to play any card from our deck. We have a lot of cards that are very important that range in provisions, whether they're a unit as well or a special card. So we want to make sure that we can get whatever we need when we need it, because sequencing is everything with a deck like this. So Oniro comes in. Iroquax is kind of like an offensive tutor. So the objective with this one here is we play it on melee every single time. Each player summons the highest provision cost unit from their deck to the melee row. Well, surely Kelly is a really good target for that. If we don't have Scoia'tael, we can go and pull out the Cave Troll or Ciri Dash. These are kind of our second and third targets. Ciri's great because timer 4, we get to draw a card. If she's behind a defender, then they have to get through one more layer in order to get to her. And what that helps us do is offset, right? If we're down a card, now we could be in a position where we're actually even on cards. If we're even on cards, we could be in a position where we're actually up on cards. So if the opponent goes first in a round 1, we play Ciri, they can't respond to Ciri, we actually have card advantage while getting engines on the board, while actually winning the round with additional cards from them. So even if we go into round 2 and our card set in our hand is not even as good as what they have, it's a quantity over quality type situation that we get ourselves into, and often that's going to result in us winning games. So really cool mechanic here with Ciri. I think this is one of the few decks where she really shines. Maybe this and Shield Wall would be kind of my 2 preferred ones, but you know, we have that there. Of course, defenders just putting up a fence, really. 4 armor makes it harder to chip through, which I like. I have Heat Wave because I need to be able to get rid of anything at any time that's going to be causing us a threat. So just keep it there. It's also a special, so we get just that synergy of not having a unit for removal, right? Nithral on dominance, meaning we have a unit with a higher point count than what they have, is going to be able to do 2 damage per turn. Beast is going to be able to get 2 boost per turn if it's not the highest power unit on the battlefield, so we could boost things in around it to make them taller than Beast so that Beast can keep growing. We do a lot of row stacking on melee. Right, this is melee, this will likely be melee, this is a melee locked card. So it makes sense to have something with Sabbath. Sabbath means if you have 25 or more points on one of your rows. So basically what we could do here is get 2 points per turn off the Witch Apprentice. I've got 2 of those, so we're already looking at 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 8 points per turn worth of engines here. And I have Sarah. In previous versions, I didn't run Sarah, but Sarah got a buff from 4 base power to 5 power, and I think it's intriguing here. The reason why I chose Sarah over Johnny in at 6 was simple. Johnny does damage, and if it damages a unit that's already low, it's anti-synergistic with Kelly, whereas Sarah is a defensive play that will boost our side of the battlefield. So I felt like just having that is more valuable, and I couldn't really fit both because I feel like instead of Johnny, that's laying down a lot of framework. I want to have, you know, this stuff in here that'll just start going right away. So that's kind of why I did it that way. And then you sort of start filling in gaps with a deck like this. I didn't want a lot of direct removal stuff because Kelly does that, and Nithral helps chip stuff down to where we need to remove it or we can remove it. So instead of going for a Dimeridian Bomb, for example, just 4 damage, or going for something like, you know, Natural Selection or a Haze to try to get lucky there and snipe, I like Hideous Feast quite a bit because this card is essentially a 5-point removal. We get the 3 damage, we get the 3 boost that's defensive, and then we can just do the 2 ping with the Nithral when we have it. So I like that sort of idea there. It removes pretty much every token in the game, so it's pretty straightforward, and defense while doing it. All the better if we have Sarah on the board. Swallow is just a 6 or 8, depending on how you look at it, for 4 provision, so it's a pretty good value. Mahakam-Ale, because I don't have Pellar here, most of the time, we're going to be able to just give something Veil, but for the times we can't and they lock it, that's great. They use their lock. We can come in with the Mahakam-Ale, no problem, right? And not to mention that we also have, for the Sarah and the Ciri, the Crystal Skull, which will boost something and give it Veil. So if we want to open with one of these cards, by all means, we could do that if we go first. So I feel like that's enough. Pact, once we give something Veil, this will be a really good way to boost. It gives Doomed. We don't get Doomed if we have Veil. You don't want to give this on a card like Kelly if Kelly's not veiled, obviously, because then it prevents us being able to take those cards back later on. The objective with this deck too is to play all these annoying cards twice. So to be able to bring back the top 3 power units on our side, preferably Kelly, Cave Troll, and Nithral, and then whatever they have on their side, it helps. I have Squirrel to get rid of something that we think is a really big threat in their graveyard. In previous renditions, I would run Xavier, but I feel like the point potential on Sarah is higher just because we need more engines, we need more stuff going, and I feel like the Apiarian Phantom's kind of getting power crept, honestly, so I decided to take this one out of the deck. So I have the Squirrel in for that reason, but I also put Bleeding Effigy because I feel like there's synergy here with Sarah with the low unit approach, and it's just another way to get kind of what Squirrel does, but not having to spend for another unit. And we're going to be banishing a bronze unit from your opponent's graveyard, then boost an ally by its power. A lot of decks will have point slam, maybe 6 to 8 point bronze units in the grave that we could potentially benefit from. Going into a short round 3, this is going to be really good for just making the Witch's Sabbath a little bit better. We don't always have to play the card, but it's there if we want to play the card. We don't have Bloody Mistress in the deck, so we cannot target gold cards. But, you know, we could just throw it in the grave off of Wispus if we really don't need it. If we have enough momentum going and we just want to thin our deck, like, I don't care. Sometimes I'll just chuck it so that we don't go into a round 3 if it's looking like it would be awkward if we drew into it then. So, pretty straightforward stuff. Some considerations that you could look at including in this deck would be Pellar somewhere instead of something else, or Taskmaster. I'm fine with either. I have Forktail in a lot of my previous decks that I was playing with Kelly, but I didn't really run into a lot of swarms so far. Mind you, I'm pretty early in getting back into the swing of things, so, you know, I don't really have a huge sample size. So these 2 cards could go on. You could play Scout just to be able to move Kelly back if they push Kelly, or move Defender back if they push Defender, but I just wanted to avoid the tech. This would be your sub card, and then you'd have to drop maybe one of these, and you'd have to flip a couple things around, but it's not that bad. You could consider using Maxii in at 5. If you play Maxii in at 5, you're likely dropping Wispus or Sarah or a Apprentice, and then kind of shifting things around. I like Maxii, but our consistency has been pretty good because we have 2 thins, 3 thins, 4 thins, and our mulligans, so it's really not that bad. Previous versions, I also had Spores. I don't mind Spores quite a bit, right? Like, you have a nice tall reset, but there will be times where it doesn't really do a whole lot anyways. So, again, you can kind of pick and choose. For the gameplay today, I'm doing it this way. I don't think Kelly's going to be good at a pro level, honestly. I'm coming back and I'm having these little cheeky wins and I'm having fun with it. But if you're try-harding the game, this is probably not what you're going to want to play right now. But I'm not try-harding the game just yet. I'm just warming up, man. So that's pretty much it. I got 3 games with live commentary for reference. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to sub to the channel. If you have any recommendations about what you want to see next, let me know in the comments as well. And I'm just happy to be back. I'm done school for a few months, so the frequency of uploads is going to be much better than it was. So thanks for waiting, and we'll see you soon in the next one. First up here we have Call of Harmony. And we're really just one Pellar and a Heat Wave away from losing, but we'll figure it out. So I could potentially brick something good for later. Seeing Sarah here is good. Maybe I take this away because it's a little slow. I have an answer to a lock. We're not going to play this, so I have 1, 2... probably 3. This hand is okay. The only thing I could think of is if I was reserve Kelly for the quacks, but I think it's alright. Saskia here. The problem is they have this at their disposal, right? So they can grab a Heat Wave, but they don't necessarily know that we're Kelly. I think I'm just supposed to find out. Yeah, you don't have it. That's crazy. We can burn her. I can't take Pact yet. So that's 2 really good cards out of the way, but one's doomed, so they're not getting it back. Maybe it's time to play the quacks. We still get board contrast. We actually thin out maybe Simless. That too. 3 and 3. I mean, it's alright. So we're going to burn a 6. We hope that it's this one. I'm just going to take the Pact here because I want to keep him safe. Feels kind of off to me. Do I ever just play this unit to get it going? There's not much else I can do. At this point, I'd like to save Sarah. Here, we'll take this. We'll go for a burn, and then we'll get +2, +1. I think we're actually in really good shape here, because I could squirrel this out of the way, too. Wait, they just gave me freedom to actually play her. So they're not devotion, otherwise they would have had both. We get a free squirrel, let's take it. I think I'm supposed to still get rid of Saskia here. You have to lead her. This is great. I'm wondering if I should just Wispus in for the G. Take away one of these because adrenaline, it gets pretty nasty. So we burn 3. Then we +2 and we go uneven and we win. I think that's the move. But right now it's probably just Heat Wave, right? So not only do we win the round, but we have card advantage +3 leader charges. We just go for the 2-0. I don't even think I want Sabbath right now. If I can't 2-0, at the very least, I can get Scenario out of the way, which is going to be great, right? So we got Waters here. It's a good fit. Just eliminate one of them. Two plus... I could take Beast. Or I could take Defender. It's probably better to take Defender. So then they can't actually sink damage, or the Heat Wave is less valuable. And then we can decide what we want to do from here. But I think it's 2-0. Unless they do something crazy like Simless, then... yeah, they were trying to hold it, but they're not going to be able to hold it. Yeah, see? We just go boom, 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 it's done. Next up here we got Scoia'tael Deadeye Ambush. I really hope it's not Cargo Heist. I've got access to a squirrel though, so that helps. They can Serpent Trap the series, so we have to be careful about that. I need more stuff to play. I'll just play this as an opener. These will be good for Deadeyes. Maybe this goes back for now. I don't see Heatwave being massive in round 1. I'm just going to put back Pact. Yeah, let's just start with this. So we play around like a Serpent. It's not terrible if they take out a Hound. Which one do you think it actually is? Probably Incinerating, right? Huh. I wish I put Siri there. Just remove that so they can't replay it. It's not Serpent. It's not Incinerating. It's sticky. It's good positioning for me, though. so they're going to be getting 4 points per turn. Honestly, I don't want to give them a long round 3 either right now. It's actually not terrible. I think what I'm supposed to do... Just give me 1 second. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had a really important phone call come in. But I don't want to cut this game because I think I can actually win. So I was like very divided for a minute there, but bear with me, okay? I'm just playing in because I think we can.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Do you hear?
Deception will tempo them ahead. Unfortunately. So we stay in, right? We have to. 24. If I bring out 1, 2, and 3, for them, I bring out only 1, so I only get 1 for me, too. Let's just try to burn. Vernaciel here would be really bad.
Now we will see who is weak.
I could take tribute. Just thin out. I get card back anyways, so it's kind of a free bleed. Okay. Here, let's go ahead and do this now because they don't have Serpent out. Now, if they have a lock, there's not really anything I can do about it, right? We don't have a Purify in hand. This isn't really going to do anything for me later, so I'll just... There we go. Man, elves are strong. What is this? I have a 10-point heat wave, 3 leader charges plus, but we can't do it now. So that extra leader charge I don't think was needed. So we maintain dignity here, we move on to the next one. So they're going to have a 4-point leader. We have this for later. They swarm, I bring back Kelly, and I have access here. So it's going to go Kelly, Defender, and Nithral, so I'm actually perfectly squared up for this. The only issue that I would have is if, obviously, they get rid of it. I think I have to put her back. Yeah, this is not good. Just do one of these, honestly.
You stand no chance.
So that will be your Serpent Trap more than likely. That's 4. I think this is our Heat Wave. I hit it for 2. It guarantees we remove that one instead of this one. Dominance is good. We gotta protect, though, against the lock. I should just win this. I think it's Vernaciel plus the 1. Yeah. Textbook, man. Sorry for having to go on the phone during that one, but... And coming up next, we have Scoia'tael Persistent Strike, which is probably the worst matchup I can think of. Honestly, I think it's really bad. But we try. With that stratagem, you could argue that maybe it's Renfree. It could also be like low unit Madoc and they need something like that for points. Let's keep our options open here. I've seen some people combine the All God play with the Madoc. It's harder to when you've got 2 offering, but it's still a package, so we're gonna have to respect it. Let's let them commit to maybe taking out the Nithral, because we can bring it back. Yeah, so just what I thought here. It's going to be a bunch of this. The problem is if I go for Quacks, it takes out Kelly. They Heatwave Kelly, then I'm out of luck. If I play an Apiarian Phantom, then I would have to use Leader. If I play Siri, they kill it. If I take defender, it's not worth it. That's all I got. Yeah, they're really baiting for that Kelly. Obviously, they want me to do it. Let's just keep our composure here and try to focus on the mission. I don't think I'm playing into Red Haze. Just a regular offering. Keep in mind, they did go first, so I'm allowed to go tall and I won't get punished for it. Because if they take Heatwave now, then we save it for later. We don't have to worry about Kelly as much. Hi-ho, hi-ho. 16, 26. Should I just do it? Yeah, I'm just gonna do it, man. Nice! If everything fails, at least we got the Simless out of the way. Here comes the Heatwave, though, for sure. Yeah. So 17.
Quick, move those hooves.
And then this goes up by 1. 25, this goes up by 2. A Spores would actually kill me here. That would too. Yeah, it's going to be one of those, right? There's not much I can do about this. If I can get them to brick leader... It's just that I have nothing on my side to boost because they'll take leader. Six, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
How can I help?
I think we're taking defender to mitigate damage. Because then I can put the squirrel behind it. I think it's going to be tough for you to get a death blow here. It's all right. Realistically, my biggest concern would be them putting Heatwave back somehow. Right? Alyssa or whatever the case. Not a great pick. only need 5 points. Wasn't thinking about Scorch. That could have been a thing too. I think they're running out of provisions for it though, honestly. So what they're trying to do is chip this down enough to get a death blow off it, so we have to just maybe pad it up a bit more, right? Yeah. I might have to play a discard game in the 3rd round here and then take last say and just crank everything. I do have that defender though. That could be a game changer. Let's put the pig back and keep this. No, we need. There we go. Nice. The problem is she goes on ranged. I'm trying not to cough. It's too late. Listen, I'm gonna have to actually play it like this. On purpose, too. I can't let them kill. So we lose the points here, but we save the full, like, leader swing out of the 4-8, right? It's kind of anticlimactic. Like, they took out Kelly in round 1 and were somehow contesting this game. I feel pretty good about this regardless. I think they're going to be able to get it off here. Let's keep these going. Just one more turn of Scorch Fear and I'm chilling. Okay, I think we just win. I get like a 5-point heat wave. Okay, 6. I just don't want them to be able to pad off themselves. What? Yeah, they gave up on it. 22! I mean, it has immunity regardless, right? This does not trigger. But this does. But she does. You love to see it. I was not expecting this.